Hello everyone and welcome back to Misostudy.com, and in this session we are again discussing another chapter from the NEET Biology, and in this session we are discussing the chapter that is neural control and coordination. Let's start the session and discuss the important aspect from NEET Biology one by one. The first question from the chapter neural control and coordination is: which of the following statement is correct about node of Ranvier of nerve? Option A is discontinuous, neurilemma is discontinuous. Option B, myelin sheath is discontinuous. Option C, both neurilemma and myelin sheaths are discontinuous. And option D, covered by myelin sheath. To find out the solution from the given question, we all know that at the level of node of Ranvier, the myelin sheath is generally discontinuous and neurilemma is line. We all know that this actually what the myelin sheath is. Myelin sheath is actually a integral part of Schwann cell, that actually forms a continuous neurilemmal covering. That actually forms a continuous neurilemmal covering. Each Schwann cell wrap around the neurolite to form the concentric layer of plasma membrane, and these plasma membrane formed at the level of junction between two Schwann cells in which the myelin cannot be formed, and due to which a gap appears. And this is all because of the mention option, and the right answer or the given or mention option right in this case is option B. Option B is the right one in this case. That is, myelin sheaths are discontinuous. Option B is the right one in this case. Let's move on to the next question. Next one is nerve fiber get depolarized when it acquired. Mention option are positive charge on inner side, positive charge on outer side, negative charge on inner side, Na plus and K plus from outside. To find out the solution of the given option, we all know that when stimulus of adequate strength, when stimulus of adequate strength or adequate threshold stimulus is applied on polarized membrane, due to which the membrane show permeability, and this permeability of membrane to Na plus charge ion, and that is greatly increased. At that point of time, this is greatly increased at the point where the contradict to this is potassium ions remain closed. Potassium ion remain closed. As a result, sodium channels permit the influx of sodium ion, and this influx is generally attained with the help of diffusion. Since there are more N plus ion are right now entering the cell. Entering the N plus ion is more as compared to the leaving the N plus ion from cell. This is less in number. Due to the more N plus ion influx and less the number of N plus ion showing the efflux, the electric potential of membrane is converted to minus 70 MV, and it should towards 0. It show towards 0. At 0 MV, the N plus ion continues rush towards inside of the cell. And more and more entry of N plus ions leads to the condition that is also known as a depolarization. Depolarization is also known as a reversal of polarity. Of the nerve membrane. So the nerve membrane or nerve fiber contents become electropositive with respect to the extracellular fluid. and this electropositivity is maintained due to the more and more influx of N plus ion in the cell. So according to the discussion, we got to know that the right answer for the option is option A. Option A is the right one in this case. Let's mark the right one in the mentioned option, that is positive charge on inner size, and that positive charge is maintained because of the condition of depolarization, and that is of more and more N plus ion movement or influx in the cell. So this is all about the second question of neural control and coordination. Let's discuss the next one from the same section, that is, which of the following is an inhibitory neurotransmitter? Mention option are A. GABA, B. Adrenaline, C. Epinephrine, and D is acetylcholine. First of all, we discuss about what is neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitters are chemicals that released from presynaptic neuron that interact with specific receptor site of postsynaptic neuron. Here are the broad categories of neurotransmitters, which is also known as a neuroexcitatory and also known as a neuroinhibitory. And the mentioned options are acetylcholine, epinephrine, and non-epinephrine, etc. Where the neurostimulatory is glycine, gamma aminobutyric acid, which is also known as a GABA. GABA is abbreviated form of GABA is gamma aminobutyric acid, and beside the another neurotransmitters also name it as a dopamine, serotonin, histamine, and nitric oxide, etc. So this is all about the discussion, and after the discussion we got to know that the right answer for the mentioned option or given question is option A. Option A is the right one in this case. Let's mark the right one in the mentioned option, that is GABA, because in the question is asking about the inhibitory neurotransmitter, that is the GABA. GABA abbreviated form of GABA is gamma aminobutyric acid. Let's move on and discuss the next question from the session, neural control and coordination. That is, if Broca's area is injured, then what happens firstly? Mention option are, option A is concerning speech muscles are paralyzed, option B speech shuttered and not clear. C. Unable to speak. D. Only able to speak written words. We all know that if Broca's area is damaged, then people can't produce speech. They understand it, but they can't produce. They can't able to produce the sound or speech. So according to the discussion, the right answer for the question is option C. Option C is the right one in this case. Let's mark the right option, that is unable to speak. Because if Broca's area is damaged, people are able to listen it, understand it, but can't able to speak. So option C is the right one in this case. Let's discuss the next question from same session, that is neural control and coordination. The next question is clogging of megendine foramen or megendine foramen will prevent the flow of cerebrospinal fluid from fourth ventricle to, option is central canal, option B 2 ventricle, option C 3 ventricle, and option D outside the brain. When we discuss the given option, we all know that the three openings of roof of fourth ventricle, that is pair of lateral appendages, that is also known as a foramen of Luschka, and a middle aperture, median aperture, also known as a foramen of megendine, allows, these two actually allows the cerebrospinal fluid to move upward to the subarachnoid space. That space actually surrounds the brain and spinal cord. So this is all about the given question, and after discussing the given explanation, we got to know that the right answer for the given option is option D. Let's mark the right one in this case, that is outside the brain. Outside the brain is right one in this case. Let's discuss the last question from the same section, that is the end organ of Ruffini are receptors of what? Pressure, cold, heat and touch. To find out the solution of the given question, we all know that end organs of ruffini are elongated, somewhat spindle shaped, having two or more interwinding and encapsulated dendrites of sensory neurons that generally occurs in deeper layer of dermis. These receptors are known as a thermoreceptor organs that are very much sensitive to heat, and the temperature vary from 25 to 45 degree Celsius. So according to the given question and given discussion, we got to know that the right answer for the given option is option C. Let mark the right one in the option, that is heat, and the temperature is vary from 25 to 45 degrees Celsius as we discussed in the discussion part. So student, this is all about the chapter neural control and coordination. Hope student you like the session. For such more sessions, stay tuned with the Misostudy.com. Till then, take care, stay safe, stay home. Thank you very much.